This is a production of WTVI PBS Charlotte.
Ladies and gentlemen, U.S. Airways, welcome to Charlotte, where the correct local time is 8:35.
Yep, welcome to the 7th busiest airport in the world for takeoffs and landings. Charlotte's also number 6 in the U.S., if you're just counting passengers.
I wish that I could fly into the sky so very high.
But there's one airport top 10 list that Charlotte's trying to stay away from.
Oh, I want to get away. I want to fly away. Yeah.
Rolling the dice. Why roll the dice when you've got so much to lose?
Charlotte Regional Partnership President Ronnie Bryant says no way Douglas Airport should have the 5th highest jet fuel tax in the country, but it could happen if lawmakers in Raleigh don't renew rebates for the airlines on jet fuel sales tax. Actually, most airlines fueling up in Charlotte don't get back a dime. In fact, only one airline, U.S. Airways, flies enough and buys enough fuel to qualify. We've got the state records that show U.S. Airways receiving jet fuel tax refunds from Raleigh up to $16.5 million a year and over $38 million in 4 years, all to help make sure the airline's huge hub stays here in Charlotte.
You're gassing up. You buy a lot of fuel. Does it make sense to do it here or move that to Philly or somewhere and have those connectors fly into that airport? They could move that easily, very easily. So it's very important that we remain a very cost-competitive market.
But not everybody agrees that U.S. Airways, now merged with American Airlines, deserves or even needs the money anymore.
Now, fuel prices have lowered significantly. Airline profits are rising. Airlines are charging travelers all sorts of fees, and they're still saying they have to get this tax break.
Adam Lalowitz is an analyst for the union that represents 900 airport and airline food service workers here in Charlotte. He joins us via Skype from his office in Chicago. So do you think that the political climate has changed to the point where you've got lawmakers who might be reluctant to extend something that's been in place for so many years?
Yeah, and I think that lawmakers on both sides of the aisle, this is not a union versus corporation issue. This is a special tax handout that only benefits one company. It's an even more egregious example of crony capitalism and of politicians interfering with the free market and picking favorites.
Well, it's certainly a very odd structure for a tax, however you argue it.
UNC Charlotte economist Dr. Peter Schwartz watches the airlines, and he agrees that the old U.S. Airways is probably getting special treatment in Raleigh, but also that the airline's big Charlotte hub is probably worth those millions in jet fuel tax refunds. Still, despite the savings, don't set your sights on cheaper Charlotte flights anytime soon, not when the planes are mostly full already.
They're kind of like a very popular restaurant at this point where, all the reservations are taken. So such an enterprise doesn't have a strong reason to say that's a signal that we should lower our prices.
Okay, so how about the airline customers? Well, they don't know much about jet fuel taxes or corporate exemptions, but they do know about higher airfares, and they've got opinions they'll share about how much it's costing them to get where they want to go.
The ticket's pretty expensive. We travel quite a bit, and it adds up. You think, Ann?
Turns out we didn't even have to interview the passengers. We just handed them an iPhone, and they pretty much interviewed themselves.
It doesn't matter if you reserve it 3 or 4 months ahead of time or 2 days before. It's pretty expensive.
I was actually just getting ready to go see if I could fly standby to see what that would cost me.
I really would appreciate if the airfares came down quite a bit.